Review. My name is Dan, aka the Boogey Man, and on this show I will do a review of a horror movie, either a classic or a newer release. Go through it in non-spoilers and spoilers, tell you what I thought about it, tell you some good points, tell you some bad points if there was any, and give it a rating out of 10. Let you know if I think it's worth a watch or not. And this week we're going to be doing something that's a bit more action horror than actual proper horror. We're going to be doing The Meg. So the reason why I'm doing The Meg is The Meg 2 is, at the time of recording, is out at the end of this week. So I thought we'd look at the original and then we're going to look at the sequel when that comes out. And yeah, I just wanted to talk about it. Because ever since Jaws, film has been obsessed with sharks. Like, we just love a good shark movie. So we've had Jaws, we've had amazing ones like Deep Blue Sea. There's a lot of Jaws films actually. You know, we've got like The Shallows, 47 Meters Down. There is loads of shark movies. Sharknado. And we just love shark movies. And I've got my copy of The Meg right there. I own it. I actually loved it. I watched it just before recording this. It is one of those so bad it's good kind of films. It knows exactly what it is. So we're going to talk about it in a second. But I remember this film came out and I thought it looked so dumb. So we're going to go straight into a review. Like, we're going to do non-spoilers first. And then we're going to do spoilers. But I will put time codes below if you want to skip any section at all. Yeah, so let's go into non-spoilers. Let's just do it. Let's just go in. So, The Meg, starring Jason Statham. Jason Statham. Oh no, there's a Meg. What we're going to do? Don't worry about the Meg. I'm going to save you from the other Meg. What if there's more than one Meg? Don't worry. I've got a diving watch. I used to be a diver. Is about Jason Statham's character, who was a rescue technician who stopped being a rescue technician because he unfortunately couldn't save everybody's lives in a submarine. He believes it was because of a Meg, which is an extinct type of shark. And later on, it turns out he was right, as there is an underwater scientific facility that has tried to go down to the Mariana Trench and go through a layer of salt water that they believe there's life down there. And it turns out there's a Meg down there. And Jason Statham's got to save the day. This film is wild. So it is essentially an action first, horror second, about Jason Statham having a fight with a big Meg shark. So the Great White is about 12 feet long, and the Meg, which is an extinct type of shark, is roughly 30 feet long. Huge motherfucking shark. I love this film. I think it's but I love it because it's entertaining. Like, it's so dumb, and it's so aware of how ridiculous it is, and it's like trying to be heartfelt, and it's trying to be kind of scary, but it's just about Jason Statham literally going toe to toe with a fucking shark. Oh, it's so much fun. And there's so many silly things in it. It very much reminds me of a very toned down Piranha. If you remember Piranha 3D that came out, God knows how long ago now. But that film was wild. It's like ridiculously over the top gory, but this is more subdued. Like, it's got fish gore in it. And there's a few bits of being injured and stuff, but it's more about like the action and more than anything, I guess. But I still love it. I think it counts. It counts. It's action horror. It's got horror in it. I count it. But I really have fun with this because it's just so ridiculous. It very much reminds me again of Crank. Jason Statham did 2 films called Crank 2. And they are like ridiculously over the top, wild, crazy films. And it just seems to suit him so well because he's just a serious, hard-faced guy. And he does these ridiculous films. So this is another one of them. Like, the premise alone, the especially right now with what happened like last month at the time of recording, if you know, you know. It's just wild that the story is just, yeah. And so people going down in a submarine to somewhere that they shouldn't go, And this fucking ocean's fucking scary. The ocean is full of fucked up shit. There's stuff down there that's got their own fucking lights, like hunting for shit, like giant squids and stuff. Like, it's fucking crazy. And I just love that they've basically made a film about how fucking crazy the ocean is, but also like ridiculous premise, like that it comes down to Jason Statham and a shark having a fist fight, a fish fight. But it's just entertaining. It's just fun. It's got silly jokes in it. It's got some stereotypes. Unfortunately, it does have the tropes of these kinds of films, which is like, there is a romantic subplot for some reason. There's the retired guy being brought back in. There's the people that don't believe him, but then they do believe him. There's all this stuff. Like, all the boxes are ticked. But it is so much fun. I love watching this film, and I cannot wait to see the Meg 2, second Meg, Back in the Habit. So yeah, it's 8 out of 10 for entertainment value. If I went for plot and like substance, it would be like a 4. But it's so much fun. I think this film is so much fun. Yeah, so it's an 8 out of 10. Let's just go into spoilers. So we're going to spoilers from now. If you haven't seen the Meg yet, just go and watch it. Go see how ridiculous it is. Spoilers from now. So the film starts with Jason Statham and his team as rescue technicians going to like rescue the people on this disabled submarine. Something has caused a damage to the submarine, and they need to go down there and rescue everyone on board. And through it, unfortunately, and one of the other rescue technicians and someone else, I believe, get stuck on the submarine. So Statham gets everyone out, basically, but there's 2 people left, and he has to make the decision of shutting the hatch and detaching from the submarine and saving all of these people. Yeah, people don't like that. People call him, he gets called a murderer for doing that, which is just so daft. It's literally his job, and unfortunately that's the risk that they take. However, Jason Statham believes that the damage to the submarine was caused by Other Meg, and it actually is done by Other Meg. Like, if you watch the film at home, you can rewatch it or slow it down, but the submarine explodes just as they get away. You can see Other Meg. I'm going to keep calling it Other Meg, by the way. You can see Other Meg just before the explosion goes off, so it was caused by Other Meg, which also doesn't make sense for the plot, which I will get to in a minute when I get there. But yeah, so after this, he stops doing his job. He doesn't want to be a rescue technician anymore. People think he's crazy. You see like interviews with him like going like, "There's the Meg out there. The fuck you doing, man? I saved everybody's life. I'm not a coward. I'm Jason Statham." And so he's living in Thailand, I think, like just living there, like drinking and working, like repairing boats and stuff. But he's still shredded, like drinking beer all day. He's still like, fucking unit. It's Jason Statham, fucking unit. And yeah, so he's just there, living his life. So after this scene, we cut to, like I say, a couple of years later, and we are at a very fancy underwater like science facility, subaquatic scientist facility, where these scientists are trying to, explore the ocean, and it's being funded by a billionaire played by this guy from The Office. And what they're doing is they're chartering a submarine. Oh no, the Meg fell over. So what they're doing is they're chartering a submarine to go, like a scientific team, to go into the Mariana Trench, which is the deepest part of the ocean. And this part of the ocean is not able to be gotten to because there is like a layer of really condensed salt water that kind of like separates the top of the trench to water underneath. And they believe that there is life down there. There's more life in the trench, life that would not have ever been seen because it can't get through this layer. And so the 3 people go down in this submarine. Jason Statham's ex-wife, and 2 dudes who are inconsequential. And they manage to go through and pierce through this layer. And they get down there and they find all this subaquatic life that they've never seen before. And while they're down there, something attacks their sub. And they think it's a shark. And obviously no one believes them. The people in the sub, like, it's a shark. Oh, like, Jason Statham was right. But no one believes them, obviously. And then all the power gets cut off and they get stuck down there. So a rescue mission has to be done. And the only person they know how to do it is Jason Statham. We've got to get Jason Statham to do it. And so they persuade Jason Statham to come to this facility, even though some people don't want to be there. Basically, his old boss runs this facility and he doesn't want Jason Statham to be there, but everyone else does. So, because it's his ex-wife. It's my ex-wife. I've got to go save my ex-wife from the MiG. And it's going to be like this the whole way through. Sorry. Jason Statham goes to this facility. There's like another woman there, this Asian woman who's like got her child there, and like she's one of the people that's going to pilot another sub down. But Jason Statham takes his own like little mini sub, and they go down to rescue these people from the trench. And when they get there, they go down, they get there, and they see that it is the Meg. What actually happens is the Asian woman is in her own sub, and Jason Statham's in his. And a giant squid starts attacking her submarine, like wrapping around it, and like, oh no, she's going to get crushed. What can she do? And then Summit just kills this giant squid. You just see like inky blood, and it turns out it's the Meg, a giant the Meg, has killed this. So it's real. The Meg is real, 100% real. And Jason Statham's like, "Fucking told you so, mate. I'm a diver." And everyone like finally believes him, like, "We're really sorry that we called you a murderer when there was a giant of the Meg there." And so action ensues where he has to he rescues his ex-wife and these 2 other men. The ex-wife is injured, and one of the other guys, this Asian guy, has been writing a goodbye letter to his wife because he thinks he's going to die. So obviously he is, because that's how films work. If someone has a wife that they haven't seen in a while and they're writing a letter to them because they think they're going to die, they're going to die. So what happens is, as they're trying to escape, Asian guy can't make it. He puts a letter in someone's pocket, shuts the door. Jason Statham saved 2 out of the 3, and they get back. And again, everyone calls him a murderer because he didn't save all 3. Like, he's like, "This is why I don't do this no more. Everyone thinks I'm a murderer." But he saves 2 out of 3. So he saves his ex-wife and he saves this other guy. Fortunately, the Asian guy can't make it because the Meg is attracted to the lights on the submarine. So that's why it keeps attacking. It's attracted to the lights. The shooting at the lights. Die Hard reference. He gets them back and he saves them. However, dun dun dun, as they are like in the facility and Jason Statham's like planning to leave and all stuff, they notice something's going on. And this is where like the trailer shot happens. So the little Asian girl who said there's the mother and the daughter. The Asian girl's walking around this facility, and people are noticing like whales are missing. Like thinks something's not right, and she's walking around on her own. And this facility is just mostly like glass, like big thick ass glass. And it's where we get that shot from the trailer where the shark swims up to the window and then like tries to bite it. And it's a cool shot. It is a cool shot. I like it. And everyone's like, "Oh my God." And they run to it and look at the size of the mouth of this. What is the Meg doing up here? How did the Meg get up here? And they find out that when they came back through the layer, that caused a thermal vent because it's like pushing the water through. And that could have allowed and other fish and things to come through. What they actually say is, everyone's Jason Statham in this part. I could have let 1 or even 20 of the Megs through. Setting it up right there. So, set it up in one line. Setting something up. And so they kind of go on this hunt for the Meg. They need to stop the Meg, because it's going to kill everything. It's killing the whales that they're observing, and it's dangerous. It's going to kill them, and they're scared. So it's obviously, it's like introducing a predator to a new environment. It's bad. It is bad news. So they put a tracker on it. They find a way to put a tracker on it. There's a very tense scene where they put a tracker on it, and they manage to kind of hunt it down. It's hard to describe the action scenes when it's basically just a bunch of dudes swimming in water, shouting like, "Get swim away!" Because they want to put a tracker on it, and Jason Statham decides to put a tracker on it by a harpoon. So he has to get in the water and like harpoon it, and so he can put a tracker on it. And they manage to put the tracker in its mouth, I think, or it's on its fin, something. They put it on somewhere, so they can track it down and kill it, because otherwise it's going to run rampant in the ocean. And they do this. They manage to get the tracker on it in a very tense swimming scene where he's going to be fine because he's Jason Statham. And so they get this tracker on it, and they manage to kind of hunt it down. And there is this. I think they're going to blow it up or something. They're going to kill it with a bomb or something. And there is a very tense scene where the Asian lady is in a submersible cage that again is all glass, trying to do maybe trank it or use a dart on it or something. And yeah, by the way, a lot of the stuff that is inconsequential of how they do things. And they manage to. The problem is the Asian lady is in this cage, and the Meg comes, and the Meg tries to eat it. She's like, "Don't worry about it. It's not gonna. He can't crush the cage. Can't crush it." And she's like, "I know." She's trying to swallow it. So Jason Statham comes along and Jason Statham's it, where he rescues her, and they manage to kill the Meg. They killed the Meg. The Meg is done, and they're all so happy. And there's this flirtatious moment between Jason Statham and the lady, as obviously, like I said, there's always the sexual tension things and the love interest. They have to have it, and they get the Meg and they pull it up, they get it onto the boat, and there's this huge giant shark, and they're all like, "Yay, we killed the Meg! It's so much fun! Well done us!" And people are gonna be so happy. Look at this thing. And they're fucking around for a while. Jason Statham makes someone fall in the water and stuff. So funny. And however, Jason Statham notices something. He goes, "Here, come and have a look at this, love. Have you noticed that the bite radius on this fucking map on Jason Statham ain't the same as the one that bit the glass?" So earlier when that shark bit that big chunk into that glass and left that mouth print, the bite pattern isn't the same. And he notices this. He goes, "Something's wrong here." At that moment, the guy fell in the water. The guy he saved earlier. Unfortunately, he's the first to find out there's a second the Meg. There's a second bigger the Meg. It jumps out of the water and it bites the shark that they've got hanging on their ship, and then destroys their ship, blows it up because it lands on it. So there's chunks of a dead Meg and boat everywhere. They all fall into the water. Obviously, the boat starts sinking. They're jumping onto debris, trying to stay alive. And there's a second bigger the Meg. And they're like, "Oh fuck, there's 2 the Megs." That's what she meant. So when the woman earlier said 1 or even 20 sharks could come through that vent, she was just setting it up so they could have as many sharks as they want. So there's at least 2 that's come through. And this is a bigger Meg than the one they've just caught. So, unfortunately, they try and get rescue boats and try and survive, and one of them, unfortunately, does not make it. The father of the lady with the daughter, the Asian lady with the daughter, he's working at this facility as well. Unfortunately, he gets injured and he doesn't make it. the stereotypical black guy in this is like super stereotypical. Like when I said earlier, like there's a guy who is there's some stereotypes. It's that like there's the love interest thing. There's that they didn't like him and now they do like Jason Statham. Like he was wrong. They thought he was wrong. It turns out he was right. And then there's the the black stereotype character that's like supposed to be the comic relief, I guess. But he spends the whole film just going like, oh, I can't swim, and oh, this is crazy. Oh, I don't want to do this. This is crazy, man. I just want to go home, man. And he's like, it's just like you're watching, just like it's the 2020s. Yet we're watching this stereotype of this 90s character. Like this is how like black characters were portrayed in the 90s. It's just like it's outdated, and it's not. And it's not funny to see. It just makes me cringe when I see this. It's like, oh, come on, man. Like, this is just the stereotype. You've got the one black guy who's saying he can't swim, and he's like kicking off, and he's being like very stereotypically over the top. It just stands out like a sore thumb. And that's one of the things about this film I just didn't like. So yeah, so Jason Statham's like, oh, this is bad. Like, this shark could kill everyone. What are we going to do? They manage to get back to the facility. I think they get picked up. The billionaire calls like for helicopters and stuff, and they've been tracking the Meg, so they know what to do. Like he managed to get someone to track the Meg. Yeah, they managed to get back to the facility. Billionaire guy goes, okay, so I've notified the government. I think it's China actually, not that they're in. So I've noticed the Chinese government. And I've notified them that, there's a Meg there and they're going to put people on it. It's now out of our hands. There's nothing we can do. Best thing to do is like go home. We're shutting this facility down for now. Cut to that night. And Billionaire Boy is riding in choppers with like army, like military guys. Like, yeah. And like is obviously in a private team, and they're going to hunt down the Meg and kill it. And they go to hunt it down, and like they shoot it from a helicopter, and they blow it up. And they're like, yeah, we killed it, yeah. And I think billionaire guys in a boat, they're in helicopters, and they destroy it. And he goes up to we're going to get pictures of it. We need to go and recover it. This is going to be worth a fortune. Like, this is history right here. And they go to collect it, and it's not the Meg. It was a whale that they attacked. And they're like, oh shit, get out of here. And the boat goes to drive off. Billionaire falls off the boat. He's like, shit. And he climbs up onto the whale, and it's like, oh, thank God. And the Meg takes a chunk out of the whale right next to him. He's like, oh my fucking God, that was so close. Oh shit. And a billionaire from the office relaxes, and then boom. The Meg just chews around him, bites him up, eats him up. And we get next day where they realise that the Meg is still out there, and the Chinese government do not know. Jason Statham's like, they don't know, do they? And then he's like, nah, don't know, mate. And they're all kind of fucked. Like, this is going to kill everyone and everything. And it gives us a shot towards like a Chinese beach, which is like just absolutely packed to the brim with people. So like, we need to do something, because this Meg is just going to kill everyone. They react to motion. And there's a beach full of people. They're all going to be swimming and splashing. It's going to kill them all. So they had to take a ship and some submarines, and they're like, we're going to go kill this thing. And that's when the kind of carnage at the beach starts to happen, like the massacre of this kind of crazy scene where people notice the shark and they're like, shark! So they all start fucking freaking out and trying to get out of the water. So the Meg's just like jumping people up, that people are on rafts, and it's like, and just eating people. And there's a one fun shot of like this really weird looking haired styled guy in like one of them blow up balls, like just around like bubbles, and he's inside it. So he's like running across the water. He's like running across the top trying to get back to the shore, and the Meg like jumps up, chomps it, and pops it. It's so fun. And it's when like they're trying to figure out what to do to stop the Meg and like the woman and Jason Statham in their own respective subs again, and they're trying to like fight it, but the Meg like keeps attacking them, and the Chinese woman's sub gets damaged, and you think she's gonna die, but Jason Statham saves her. She manages to get out of the water, and this is where Jason Statham goes, right, I'm gonna kill this Meg. And this line makes no sense, and I love how they just go, how are you gonna do it? He goes, evolution. How are you gonna kill it?
Evolution.
He's going, what? You're gonna use evolution? And basically what he means is his sub has been damaged a bit, and there's a bit that's like spiky, and he uses like he uses it as like a knife to cut down the belly of the Meg after he like plays chicken with it, and they're just fighting it, and like eventually like, but they managed to kill the second Meg. Like there's this big standoff, and it eventually dies. And everyone's happy, and like, they finally kill the Meg. Jason Statham knifed the Meg to death. He knifed it, basically. I love it. He just fucking knifed it. Evolution means knifing it. And there's the scene after them talking and stuff like, yeah, there's everything's safe and sound, and it seems like Jason Statham's gonna like be hooking up with the lady and the daughter because the kid's like, she likes you. And so that's gonna happen. And it get the end, and it's brilliant. We get the end, and it shows a shot of the ocean. It says Finn. I love it. Like so much like doesn't happen in this film, but so much does. Like I said, I love it. It's so entertaining. It's just fun. It's action horror, which is just pure fun. It's just fun. End of the day, it's silly. You don't have to think about it. It's not meant to be clever. It is just. You're watching Jason Statham go toe-to-toe with a shark, and you're watching a bunch of people get eaten by a shark. It's basically what this film is. And it knows it, and it has fun with it. And it is just, it's just a whale of a time. And I cannot wait to see the second one. Like, I've seen the trailers, and they're wearing, like, fucking mech suits. Like, what the fuck is going to happen in this one? I hope there's, like, 10 the Megs. Oh, my God, there's so many the Megs. It's so crazy. And so I just loved it. I love this film. It's just entertaining, like 8 out of 10. I definitely would give it a watch if you just wanted to have a good time. Watch it with people because you can have a laugh with it. But yeah, that's my review of The Meg. I will be getting The Meg 2 out as soon as I see it, hopefully later this week. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed that, guys. Let me know what you thought about The Meg in the comments down below. Or drop me a message if you're listening through this to the podcast form. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave a 5-star review. I'd really appreciate that. And if you're watching this on the YouTube version, if you could like, comment, and subscribe, that would be awesome. It really helps the show out. You can contact me via email, which is down the show notes below, or you can find me on Instagram at Boogie_man_DH. And if you want to support the show even further, you can share it on your social media, or you can sign up to my Patreon. Again, there's a link down below where you get extra episodes and things that aren't necessarily horror related. I have done video essays. I've done reviews of other films with my friend. And I have also released some other personal stuff for myself. Like I released one of my short stories and one of my songs that I've been working on for my music project. And there's a lot more stuff to come on that Patreon just later this week as well. I'm going to be posting something up. So those are all the things, guys. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Please subscribe again. I really hope you return. And yeah, check out my other episodes if this is your first time. Until the next one, guys. Happy watching.